Steve Evans, 3 more points on Tuesday night. That league table is really nice to look at the moment.
Yeah, I think a lot of managers sit in my position and say they don't look at them, do they? But I think they all do. I think they're one of them noses going like the old Pinocchio. Listen, it was hard fought, 3 points. We know, and I think young James at Newport has since said that they could have lost a lot more than they could have done, but they showed a real resolve to stay in the game. From our point of view, we dominated a game for long periods, didn't take the chances that we created in large, but lots of energy, lots of effort, and some super individual performances. And if there's a goal worthy of being a 1-0 victory, then Alec Gilby scored a magnificent finish. So 3 hard-earned points, and then we move on to the weekend.
Yeah, on Tuesday night you could see the effects of that extended break and that time on the training pitch. The team just looked really fit, and you could tell that in Alex Gilby, he looked like the sharpest player on the pitch.
Yeah, he's. I didn't hide it when Alex came in and we put him straight on the side. He's such a talented boy. We put him straight on the side. He didn't really perform at Crewe anywhere near what he could have done. I think he knew it. We took him off in the air, but he'd only played 1 game at Charlton and had missed a lot of training because he had a couple of little niggly groin and hamstring issues when he was at the back end there. Because if you're not really in the mix of it, these things can come upon you. And but we spent that week or 10 days because of, sadly for the wrong circumstances, with the games being postponed because of the death of Her Majesty the Queen. Then we took that opportunity to get some real good work into Alex, and he took the opportunity to do it as well. So the group is in fantastic shape, fitness wise, energy wise. We know when to rest them, we know when to lay them down for a day or two. But unlike some had the weekend off because of the fixtures were cancelled. We didn't, as the boys of alluded and telling you, we came in and we worked really hard, because if you're not working hard, what's the opposite? You're doing nothing.
And Alex Gilby also adds goals, but the goals are coming from all over the pitch at the moment, from up front, midfield and defence.
Yeah, listen, I think we don't like a striker that's goal after goal after goal. We faced one on Saturday. But I think as a manager, when you've got a team where goals come from different players in different positions, that in theory is harder for an opposition to deal with, as opposed to targeting a main striker or putting an emphasis on them. So from that point of view, I've never really cared who scores the goals. I've been fortunate to coach the likes of Chris Wood, and Ivan Toney, and Marriott, and these people, and Dembele. But in the same token, I don't really care who gets goals. It's about points for me. Points are cruel. We're working so hard to make sure we get to that 52, 53 point mark as quickly as we can, and that takes some doing in its own right.
And on to Saturday in Bradford, arguably our toughest test yet.
Yeah, I think it is by far. I think this is how do you describe Bradford City? I think when I was linked to the job a couple of times before coming to Stevenage, I said then, I don't think there's many managers in the lower leagues that would never wish to manage Bradford City. I think it's such a big club. It could be in the Premier League, couldn't it? No one would blink if Bradford City was back at the top level of English football. And only poor recruitment in the last 3 or 4, 5 years, 6 years maybe, has seen them go down to a level where they shouldn't be. I think the appointment of Mark Hughes was a stunning one in the summer. I remember when I heard the news that Mark Hughes had the job, I thought of someone that used to play. It's a big centre back who used to play at Accrington, who was a fearsome competitor. And then I realised it wasn't. It was the Mark Hughes. So a great appointment. And what Mark's done, and they've got a brilliant head of recruitment in there who does a brilliant job, and a young chief exec the same. So I'm not building them up to be what they're not. They're a fantastic club at our level. They are the Manchester United, Manchester City rolled into one for League Two. So that's how tough our task is on Saturday. But we have to go there and take all of that out of our minds. And at the end of it, it'll be 11 on the grass if the referee doesn't put anyone off.
The last few years, it's been a really difficult place for Stevenage to go. But what will Steve Evans and Stevenage have to achieve to get a positive result there?
Well, score 1 more goal than Bradford. That's easier said than done. There'll be a big support. They're fearsome. They get right behind them. When I was Leeds United manager, spent a lot of, because in the Championship you tend to be able to, because Leeds were subject to a lot of televised games, then that would allow me to get a a Tuesday night to the Valley or Parade or on a Saturday. So always loved the atmosphere. I think I first became aware of it as a manager, but really what enthralled me was the Phil Parkinson and Steve Parkin era where they had the team they did. It was a fearsome team. I think beat Chelsea in the FA Cup. It was such a good side. So, you know, we have to go there. That Stevenage have found Bradford a problem in recent times. In the last 4 or 5 years, they've found a lot of grounds away from home, difficult places to go. We know it'll be tough. My players know it'll be tough. All my players, I think, all bar the odd one or two, has played at Bradford City. They know what to expect. I don't need to dress up. It's also a fantastic place to go. Who doesn't want to play in front of 18, 20,000 fans? Every player does. Every member of staff, everyone look to when they're playing Bradford because it's a big game. But 1,000,000% it'll be about what we do on Saturday between 3 and 5 that decides whether we come back with nothing, a point or 3.
And potentially a fully fit squad to choose from, apart from Elliot.
Yeah, I hope so. You know, we're Michael Boswick should be in David Amour should be out in the training ground today, if not tomorrow, before we travel. So from that point of view, particularly Michael Boswick is a big influence and a big player coming back into the group. But we've got a small group. We know that would make everyone apart from Elliot available. So it shows you how tight we are in numbers. But it's a great group. I wouldn't wish to lead another group of men in League Two. You may find better players. You won't find a better spirit. You won't find a better togetherness. We make 5, 6 changes on a regular basis. I think you've spoken to Max this morning and he summed it up. They know that people coming in can do equally as good a job. There is no firm favourites here, but certain players have to play. We mix and match it to suit us against the opposition and to suit an identity of how we wish to play.
And just finally, a word on our support. They've been fantastic this season, really enjoying watching the team play. They're coming up with new songs left, right and centre, but on Saturday they'll be really needed and their support will be huge. Yeah,
their support will be huge. The only way that you'll hear their support is if Bradford's having a lull in the game or we score. That's the normal. Any team going to Bradford, any team. I could take Leeds to Bradford. It's Bradford fans who fill 90% of the stadium. So from that point, our fans have been really good. I thought the atmosphere and spells when we scored early in the second half, when Alex scored, it was as loud as anything. And they kept us going. I think near the end they were wishing to see a second and third goal, if you like, because we had that many chances, that much pressure. But we don't kid ourselves. This is a real tough test at Bradford on Saturday. We come back adding to our points tally. You know, we'll be 9 games in the league. That'll be a super start if we add to our points tally on Saturday. Go there and win. It goes to a fantastic start.
That's great. Thank you, Gavin. Cheers.